Pete, your videos are regularly getting thousands, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of views. But as we both know, a lot of YouTubers making educational, informational videos struggle to even get in the hundreds of views on their content. So I've got to ask you while you're here, what's your process for making videos that you feel confident are going to get this level of views?
Oh, you ask at just the right moment. So the last 3 videos we put out have got 1,000 views or something. They've done really horrendously.
Oh no!
But it's one of these things. We've got a kind of a bit of a two-way process we go through things. There's the process that most people go through, and we're still kind of going through ourselves, which is where you make videos that you love to make. You know, particularly my channel is a tech channel, so it's the latest tech that's coming out. You're looking for what's the popular tech that's around. But things for me are Apple Watches always do well. iPhone content always does well. Apple versus Android stuff particularly does quite well. And you get to learn that over time, so we can kind of lean into those niches and make more content around that. For me, before I even got to that stage, I was already making content around software, like online software, password managers, VPNs, cloud storage, those kind of things. Mm-hmm. And those were, I think, my first exposure to videos that started to perform well. Over time, there would be very slow burners, but they would grow to a decent number of views in the first year or so. And so it kind of led from that one. Then we found the iPhone content did well, and we kind of jumped to that one. And then now we're at the stage where we are doing a bit of that, but we're also looking around for, getting inspiration from what's out there on YouTube of what's already working well for other people, and how can we put our spin on it? Whether it's just taking a title and thumbnail idea, whether it's just taking a thumbnail and applying it to our video content idea. It's just trying to find, and everyone's trying to hack the algorithm and find the shortcut to get the views. And there's a certain amount of, you just need to find a good title and thumbnail hook, and trying to work that into your content somehow. So it's a bit of all the above. And in terms of shortcuts and the views, we've had a lot of success for probably the last 6 months or so. The channel's seen a huge amount of success, and we're still trying out new formats. And obviously, not every format works, and some formats you have to try 3 or 4 times to kind of feed YouTube the information, so it knows that you're now doing that format, so it starts getting the views. So you kind of have to assume that you try a new format 3 or 4 times, and they're all going to suck, but you have to kind of do that for YouTube to learn and go, oh, actually, maybe the 3rd or 4th video is going to actually start getting the views. So it's just trying to feed the information into YouTube, and that results sometimes in not getting many views on a video, which is super frustrating when you're speaking to sponsors, because they're like, well, your views are very up and down on the channel. It's well, yeah, because otherwise we just make lifelong iPhone user switches to the latest phone every single video we made. And I don't want to do that. That's not I've always said to myself, you find a video format that works, that's fine if you're happy to then make those videos for the rest of I guess your YouTube career. But I don't want to be stuck just making phone videos for the whole time. I want to kind of explore and have fun and do lots of other things as well.
Yeah, I noticed the lifelong iPhone series on your channel doing extremely well. So congrats on that. Maybe we'll bring that up in a second. But you mentioned a few things there, and I really admire the desire to experiment with your channel and not just get stuck making the same type of content. You touched on competitor research there, though, and looking at what other people are doing. Can you maybe talk us through a little bit of your process there and what exactly you're looking for to determine whether something's good or not?
So for us, it's I've made it super easy now. So I've created my own private playlist called video ideas, and it's useful because when I'm sat, that's why I naturally watch a lot of YouTube. We sit down in the evenings, big screen TV, we'll browse around and watch basically through our subscriptions fees. But then I'll go onto the homepage sometimes, and I'll just I'll go and watch and watch the videos that are interesting. And it just so happens that I'll watch a few videos and go, oh, this looks like an interesting video. I wonder who the creator is, and I'll just go and look at how many subscribers they've got, and if they're a relatively small channel and they've got a video that I'd look at the views on it and it's just blown up and done 50, 100, 200,000 views, okay, cool, that's going onto my video ideas bank of library of ideas. And then we can kind of sit back at some point when we go through our planning stages to plan out our the next month's content. We kind of look at those ideas and go, okay, what can we take from this? Is there an idea we can put our own spin on, like I was saying before? A title thumbnail we can kind of apply to one of our own ideas. Mm-hmm. Can we make our own version of one? Just trying to figure out the way that it works without ripping people off. Because I know there's also a very big trend, I guess, at the moment on YouTube of is it the sleeping pods hotel thing somewhere where everyone just has the same the same thumbnail sat in the same pose in front of the same like sleeping pod, because they get like 5 million views every time they do that or something. So we're not trying to just do that. We're trying to kind of take inspiration and see how we can, move that into our kind of version of our content, and just seeing how well that performs. Although weirdly, the stuff that's all performed really, really well has been, I think we've had one idea, like a 10 ways X is better than Y. We did, we kind of replicated the thumbnail formats, the title, and then we just made our own video off the back of that.
Can we get that up quickly and have a look at it?
Yeah. There's the original one was, if you scroll way back, I think it's a 10 ways like the iPhone is better than the Pixel or Samsung. There's one there. That didn't do very well at all.
Oh yeah, around here.
That one did well.
Yep.
The other one did not so well, which is the Pixel 7 Pro above that, 10 ways.
Let's just zoom in quickly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, this was interesting. This was the when you kind of compare the two. This was us testing to see the title and thumbnail format of like whether you say the iPhone's better or you say the other phone's better, which one gets the most views. And that one you can quite clearly see that people want to know why the Pixel 7 Pro is better than the iPhone, and they really don't care that the iPhone is better than the Pixel 7 Pro right above it, because it's 4,000 views versus 133,000 views. So you just kind of learn things from this. And we had similar kind of learning from when you're comparing like an Android phone with an Android phone. People aren't really that fussed. They just care, is it better than an iPhone or not? That's all they seem to care about.
Sure. So,
but then to take that step further, sorry to butt in, further, we then took that 10 ways idea out of the format and applied it to, I think if you scroll up on that screen, there was a Insta360. So we did like a 10 ways, the Insta360 is better than I think it was GoPro. Mm-hmm. And that one did like that hit 36,000 views within like a week or a month or something, and it's kind of flatlined now. But that format again just seemed to work for some reason.
And you found that video format, 10 ways X is better than Y, from someone else on YouTube and brought it into your channel.
Exactly, yeah.
That's really interesting. And so you're looking for videos that are getting a ton of views from channels with nowhere near the same sub count. Does it matter if they're in your niche making tech videos, or can it be any niche across YouTube that you're looking at?
Generally, no. The thing is, they mostly are in tech because that's just what YouTube gets to learn that I watch anyway. So, most of the things that I watch are like tech related, or there's a few kind of other things, random kind of topics sprinkled in there. But yeah, most of what YouTube serves me is like the tech content. But yeah, similarly, you can take the principle from absolutely any genre on YouTube and still apply it into your own niche. If it's a tech channel, then yeah, we can kind of make a tech version of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've started on a weekly basis collecting 10 title and thumbnail combinations that I found on YouTube that are getting like a ton of views, hundreds of thousands of views for channels with less than 10,000 subscribers, because I agree with you. I just believe that there's so much value in a great title and thumbnail combination, and it's potentially a skill that a lot of small YouTubers haven't got yet, is how to craft a great title and thumbnail. So if there's like a template you can follow, I think that can really help you kind of get a head start and get some leverage.
The whole title thumbnail thing is one of these things that you keep hearing and you're like, yeah, okay, now get back to making my like cool videos again. And like it is so important, and I've certainly learned over the last 6 months or so. So we've been working on our titles and thumbnails for the last 6 months, and that's when the channel's like done what it's done. Before 6 months ago, we weren't getting these kind of views straight away, and the thumbnails certainly have kind of changed the format. And again, we're trying different formats. There's the don't use a VPN, the YouTube scan with like holding the hand out and the icon. So that was kind of one we kind of replicated from someone else. But just improving the title thumbnail makes a dramatic like difference with your video's performance versus just making a better video. And I'm going through this whole like conundrum at the moment in my life of like, to me, the pains that I have when I'm making YouTube videos are, I think I'm at the stage where I need someone to help me shoot the videos, like a videographer. And I think I need some office space because I just don't have the space here. I'm starting to run out with the amount of stuff I've got in this room. So like my head's going, or rather my heart's going, I want all those things. Whereas my head is just going, no, the sensible thing is just work on your titles and thumbnails. Because really, it does matter to a certain extent, but it doesn't really matter what the video is like behind the title and thumbnail. You just need to have that great title, thumbnail, and a hook of the video. And then regardless of how bad your video is, it's still going to perform well because you've got a great title and thumbnail.
So you'd say that's a high amount of like the impact that you need is the title, thumbnail, and hook.
Massive. Yeah, it's one of those things again. Like most people just kind of listen to that and move on and be like, yeah, cool. Now I'm going to get on with planning my next video. But like the amount of time and effort you can put into the title and thumbnail will directly impact how well your video's performing. We've just signed up for Ed Film Booth's thumbnail course. Even at our level now, or my level now, where we're approaching 100,000 subscribers, we're still looking at ways we can improve. And like, I think I just spent £800 on Ed's course or something to just get better at things. So you want to constantly learn and get better at everything.
So you really value the potential of thumbnails then?
Yes.
We recognize it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if we look at your channel, is there like a certain point where you can kind of recognize that you change your title thumbnail strategy and start to see a difference?
Oh, it's interesting. It's been a slow developing process. So it's essentially what happened is a long time ago, I made my own thumbnails. Then we switched to having someone else make the thumbnails, and I just kind of gave them, I literally gave them a library of me pulling those stupid YouTuber poses and faces and things, and then holding the thing up to the camera. So I guess the shift, if anything, was shifting away from the traditional YouTuber pose thumbnails with the shocked face and the things, versus
like these
having
ones down here.
Yeah, but there you go. All of those. Pulling a pose, all wearing the same yellow t-shirt, because literally I did the shoot of me pulling those poses in the yellow shirt. So
single day.
That became a thing for a while.
Yeah.
And then it shifted to less focus on me, more on the product. The biggest thing I've learned from Ed's course at the moment is like there should be like one hero in your thumbnail, one focus, and like that's what we're trying to learn now, rather than having in some of the older thumbnails, it was just, do you look at me? Do you look at the thing? Do you look at the text? Do you look at the bright objects in the corner? But actually, like nowadays, it's just like, hey, here is the tech that's in the video. And that's like the main thing that's been showcased.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot more going on, doesn't there, with your old thumbnails here? Like a lot in the frame at once compared to your newer ones, which just seem, I guess one word could be more minimal, but less to distract you and
exactly that. I think I'd say it's like less but higher produced, rather than like having more. I mean, I'm really bad with Photoshop. Like you can look at the old thumbnails. I'm really bad with Photoshop, but the newer thumbnails are being done by. So I've got a guy that works with me full time. He does the thumbnails, and he's kind of going through Ed's course as well. And we're kind of developing these thumbnails as we go along.
Right. We've been hearing great tips so far on how to get more views on YouTube. But if you're like me, you'll know that no matter how hard we work, some months views might be up and other months our views might be down. And when looking at ad revenue, that means that some months we might earn a lot and other months we might not. And I, for one, do not like that monthly inconsistency that comes with our YouTube earnings. So I went away and I found out that YouTubers like Jevon Dovey that you'll see on screen now, and even smaller YouTubers like Brendan Washington, are using a platform called Uscreen to solve this problem. What is Uscreen and how does it help us earn monthly recurring income, you might ask? Let me explain. So going back to Jevon, he's used Uscreen to build the creator film school that you'll see on screen now, where you can see here he's teaching his audience the skills they need to create awesome videos. And if they want to, his viewers can join the creator film school by just committing to a $29 a month membership fee. Jumping back to Brandon here, he's used Uscreen to open the Creative Fam Academy, where if we scroll down, we can see he's hosting a ton of courses for his viewers that they can access when they join his monthly membership, which if we scroll down here we can see is ranging from $4.99 for the basic stuff to $79.99 a month to join. And just focusing in on some of the Uscreen features Brandon's using to convince his viewers to sign up to that monthly fee, we can see here he's offering live stream trainings to his viewers. They can join an internal community inside this membership space, and they just get access to a ton of extra guides, courses, video content, and Q&As. And jumping back to Jevon here, even though his views on YouTube might be going up and down each month, if he can convert 100 of his viewers to sign up to his $29 a month membership, well, that's $2,900 he's making every month, regardless of how many views he gets on YouTube. Seeing these creators doing this solidifies inside me how great I think building a membership space around your YouTube channel is. It generates you recurring, consistent income every month, and it just means that you're not obsessing over whether your views are up or down on YouTube month in, month out. In fact, if you look on screen now, you'll see that I'm using Uscreen myself to build up my own membership platform. I need to use one of their templates to be honest, to make mine look a bit better because it's looking a bit basic at the moment. It's a work in progress. And by using Uscreen to build out this membership space, I'm able to send emails directly to people that sign up and become members. I'm able to offer free trials and provide coupon codes to my viewers. And jumping over here, you'll also see the behind the scenes of what the community space looks like inside a Uscreen membership area, where members of my membership space can come and have a chats with each other, speak to me, and just build a community inside my membership platform. And later, if I wanted to, I could bring my membership space into my own white label mobile and TV app, which means people could access it on iPhone, Android, Fire Stick, Roku TV, all of those usual suspects. It's a no-brainer for YouTubers like you and me making educational content to build membership sites alongside our channels to just get that guaranteed recurring revenue. I recommend using Uscreen to do it. Thankfully, they're sponsors of this podcast. So if you want to get set up, you can use my partner link that you'll find below in the description to this video. Thanks.
Sometimes when we know we've got we've just outsourced the video, hopefully we're going to get it back before in time. So we've got the video coming out on Saturday. We've outsourced the thumbnail, so that one to a proper thumbnail guy because we know exactly what we want, and we're not quite at the stage where we can do what we want with the thumbnail. So we are kind of outsourcing here and there when we like know exactly what we need, and we'll just go get it.
Cool. Yeah. I've heard you mention we quite a few times, and you're just talking about outsourcing. So I think there's some stuff to pick apart there with time management in a second, which we'll just park for a second. I'm just wondering if there's anything else we can get into in terms of the video idea process of how you come up with ideas that get so many views. You mentioned earlier you have like formats that have already done well, and I think it'll be news to some YouTubers watching this that you can actually repeat formats and use them as templates for new videos. So could you talk about that for just a little while, and maybe we'll bring up some examples on your channel?
Yeah, exactly. So, the one recent one. So the video we've got coming out on Saturday is a VR video, and you can actually see if you scroll down a little bit to I can't remember which format it was. So there's a fitness one there, the green thumbnail, where I spent 30 days getting fit in VR. There was also one before that, which was I worked in the metaverse for 7 days.
I saw that
one
video. Great
video.
video.
There we go. That took off within a month. You just got it on screen there. That's
right
it.
Here, yeah.
That like 275,000 views. Most of those again were within the first month or two. It just shot up, and that was what we were not expecting that whatsoever. So we're like, okay, maybe there is an interest for VR on my channel, and maybe there's lots of VR stuff coming out. I know that Apple's working on a VR headset. So we then looked at what else we could do, and you can see there's been a few other VR videos since then. We've got the hidden problems with the MetaQuest. That didn't do too well. We did the fitness challenge. That didn't do too well. We've done a PSVR 2 gaming headset. That didn't do too well.
Yeah.
So what we're just about to do this weekend is like a follow-on from the working in the metaverse for 7 days. And we're doing I worked in the metaverse for 6 months with a bit of a kind of catch-up of like what's happened in the last 6 months. Is the quality good? Basically answering all the questions I got asked on that video. And it's like the same. I spent 6 months working in the metaverse. So same title, thumbnail slightly different because we've taken inspiration from another thumbnail that's performed well on the channel. And this for me is a really great way to see if it's, trying to identify if it's the title that performs well, if it's the thumbnail that performs well, or if it's the video that performs well, because the video is in a completely different format to the I spent 7 days video format. So we're just taking one idea and making it like an updated version of it. The same thing with there's this whole thing of like buckets. I've always worked my channel on buckets. So you have a bucket for maybe you've got like a tech review, you've got a lifelong iPhone user, you've got a watch video, and you just alternate these buckets. So you're basically not making the same video 3-4 times in a row, and you just kind of give your viewers variation on what's going on within the channel. And that helps you plan out your content massively, because you don't have to think, what video do I need to do this week or next week, or trying to plan it out. You're going, I don't know what video to make. But now I need to make one lifelong iPhone video this month. So okay, what phones have just come out? That's the video. That's the phone for that video. Mm-hmm. And then it might be for us, we do screen reviews sometimes. So we'll have a bucket for screen reviews. Let's make sure we do one of those once every month or 2 months or so. And again, if we can line that up with release dates, even better. But it's just trying to plan things out, and having those buckets just makes it so much easier to plan out your content.
Cool. Let's just talk about buckets for a second. So I first learned about buckets, and I think you may have learned about it from the same place when I read this book from Daryl Eves. That's
No, I
right.
didn't. Where did I learn it from? It might have been Ali Abdul's part-time YouTuber course.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I was quite late to that book. I bought that book like a year after it came out. I was really late to it.
Yeah, I think I was about the same time. But I'll just explain what buckets is to people that might not be familiar with that. So the concept is that a bucket is a type of video that you have on your channel, kind of like a series. So look at Mr. Beast, for example. He has like getting away from this person. So I escaped a FBI agent. I escaped an assassin. Then he'll have another bucket, which is I buried myself for 50 hours, or I did this for 20 hours. So they're series, they're types of content where you can alternate, like, and you have 2 or 3 content types on your channel and you alternate between them video by video. That's basically what you're explaining there, isn't it?
Exactly.
And let's take a quick look at your channel just so people can visually kind of see what that looks like in reality, and see if we can pick some buckets apart. So we already mentioned one of them, 10 ways X is better than Y. I imagine that's one of your buckets.
Yeah.
With the phone videos there. I did notice them when I was looking through your channel earlier. So we've got the lifelong iPhone user switches to the Google Pixel 7 Pro there. And if we scroll up a bit further, lifelong iPhone user switches to the Samsung Galaxy S23. So we've got another bucket of lifelong iPhone user switches too. And are there any others that we'll find up top if we have a look?
No, we slightly changed, and this is the thing, I guess, where we're going through iterations of titles as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there are like screen reviews in there, but the screen reviews are titled and thumbnailed slightly differently, and that also then comes across in the video idea. So as you scroll through there, there'll be a screen review somewhere. I think if you start scrolling down, there's a screen review, which is next to the fitness thumbnail down the bottom. There's performance power Samsung Odyssey OLED. But if you scroll a little bit further down, there is one with me stood next to this massive monitor. That's a screen review, but the way that was positioned was I'm using my TV as my monitor, and you should too.
Okay.
And there's still a screen review. It's just the way it's positioned is slightly differently, and obviously the views on that one are like massively different and more than the other video we're making as well. So it's all about, again, goes back to title and thumbnail once again.
That's really interesting, and it's really interesting to hear that you're constantly testing these things. You explained earlier how you've got the bucket with 10 ways X is better than Y, but you switch them around from 2 different videos to see which was the most impactful. You are switching, you're going to use the same title structure with your newest video, but you're going to change out the thumbnail and the video structure. So it sounds like you really believe that there's like importance in experimenting with these things too.
It's either incredibly clever or incredibly stupid, and I guess on Saturday we're going to find out. So you never know.
This video should go live. This podcast episode will be going live after Saturday, so I'll make sure.
Oh, interesting! Oh, dear me.
And include it right there to see how you got along. Cool. Let's move on to time management then, because I think you've probably got some gems to share with us here. So yeah, like I said, you've been talking in the plural we for a while there, and you said you're outsourcing some thumbnail design. So could you talk us through what the operation looks like behind your channel?
Yep, absolutely. So pretty quickly after starting out, I hired a VA straight away just to take off lots of the administrative things. Things for me like the affiliates we work with, just like the account side of things, just logging into the affiliate platforms, figuring out what we've sold, how many clicks, conversions, all those kind of things, and putting it in a spreadsheet. So I've got a VA that does a lot of that stuff. They also used to, they don't anymore because I've moved it to somebody else, but they used to take my video scripts, because I script everything word for word, and literally just paste it onto my website. So now I have a blog post as well as a video for every single thing that I do.
Clever.
Which then also gets pushed onto Medium, a blogging website, which is another source of income for me as well. So VA takes a lot of those kind of administrative things away from me. Then we hired a full-time video editor, or we kind of started off on a project basis, and now we essentially went very quickly to a full-time video editor. Because by hiring a video editor for me, even though I'm paying like a full-time salary for that, it freed my time up to either make more videos. I also do business coaching, so it actually frees me up to earn more money doing business coaching than it does to obviously edit the video. So video editor was a very, very quick hire, and that was a total no-brainer for us as well. Who else do we have? We also have a bookkeeper. We have an accountant. We have Who else do we have? I have my full-time member of staff who started within the last 6 to 8 months or so. And he's super like, he doesn't know YouTube at all. He's like a friend of mine. He's a teacher, or used to be a teacher. And we were just chatting one day, and actually we realized maybe it might be a good opportunity because this is super difficult. Like, where do you go and hire YouTube people? Like, YouTube doesn't really, it's starting to be a career now, more for the YouTubers themselves that make the videos. But there's this whole other kind of career path that's emerging now of the people that, kind of like yourselves as well, of like the people that are out here analyzing videos, analyzing channels that can provide the advice and guidance. A lot of the behind the scenes data analytics and like the YouTube studio side of things is actually dealt with by this guy that kind of does all the background stuff. Most of the time, I basically just write my videos, I shoot the videos. I've had a little bit of input on the thumbnails, but generally I just get told what thumbnails I need to shoot. And then it just all goes away and it just gets taken care of. The video gets made, the thumbnails get made, titles and thumbnails, we get kind of a bit of back and forth and chat about what the options are. And we also hire like consultants over the years. So I've had, I work with like Ali Abdal's team. I work with Liron Segev. He was my kind of YouTube coach, I guess, which is a job nowadays. A YouTube coach for 6 months or so. And I still speak with him every so often just to try and get some insights and ideas. And he's a great guy. Awesome. And he runs his own 500,000 subscriber channel. I think it's approaching towards 1 million now. So
I've definitely seen him around.
That, he knows what he's talking about. And so there's, we try and take, I'm very much this opinion of like, you don't know anything about anything. So just go out and constantly learn, constantly improve. Like, nothing's perfect. So if you can bring people in to help you achieve those goals or like free up your time. And the thing for me is like the things that brings in income are I make videos. The videos get sponsored, they get affiliates, they get views and AdSense and those kind of things. So my focus needs to be on the videos, not the other stuff around it. And similar with the coaching, my value in the coaching is the time when I'm actually doing the coaching or creating courses and other content behind it. Sure. So I need to be able to do that. So everything else beside that, the accounts, the bookkeeping, chasing people for payments, like I don't have time to do any of that. So I have to kind of give that away to other people. And it just works for like a much more flexible life. Like I've kind of, my background is I used to run an IT company and we had like 16 staff, like traditional, we had big offices and lots of staff and people and customers and like I don't know what it was, like 7 o'clock every day, go home at 6 or 7 o'clock every day. And it was very, very long, very stressful. Whereas this whole YouTube world and what I'm doing now with the coaching thing, I can basically, as long as I make the videos every week and as long as I do my coaching sessions, I can kind of do whatever I want within reason. Awesome. So it's just way more flexible. It's just a lot more fun. Like I just wish everyone could do this because it's a blast.
That's so impressive that you've built that team. It sounds like it's a really well-oiled up like machine, like going on behind the scenes, and that you really don't have to be micromanaging and doing much. So you can just turn up and do your tasks, and you've got the confidence there that your team will do the rest. It's awesome.
It's really difficult though, because like I probably sound like I've got everything figured out, and honestly, I said this like all the time whilst I was running my company. Like I literally have no idea what I'm doing. Every single day, I'm kind of turning up and going like doubting myself of like I was saying earlier, like do we hire a videographer? Do we get some offices? Do we hire somebody else to help him with something else? Do I outsource the thumbnails to somebody directly? Do I hire a blog writer to write the blogs and make them SEO and make them like more readable? Like there's so many different ways you can do this, and it's not like with the IT business I had. That's quite a standard kind of business that's around. That there's plenty of other people out there doing the same thing, and YouTube is the same to a certain extent, but everyone's at a different place in their journey. You've got, like we were chatting about earlier, like you've got these massive channels that have like millions of subscribers and they've got 50 people behind them or something. Well, you can't take anything from that because that's completely out of reach. And equally, like there's a whole, the biggest portion of the youth channels, they are small and they only have like the one person that's doing everything. Sure. And it's trying to find your feet as you're growing, and it's difficult to hire those people because there are just no people that have the experience unless you hire a videographer to do the filming, or having a thumbnail designer is even like a weird concept that people like. You don't really hire a thumbnail designer, but there are now people coming through the woodwork of they just make thumbnails. So it's super difficult to try and find the right path to grow and hiring that team around you. And I've kind of like just tried to encourage the team that I've got. Chris that works with me, he goes on the thumbnail course we talked about. He goes on coaching calls as well. So we're just trying to skill everyone up not as quickly as we can, but just trying to make sure we've got the support we need as we, the thing grows.
Yeah, 100%. You mentioned income sources and revenue streams a second ago. We're going to get to that in a sec because I know a lot of people will be really interested to hear about that side of things. But just to finish that off, you're reminding me of stages of growing a business. I'm involved in entrepreneurship, and I hear that a lot of the difficulty is going from being a one-person company to two, like that first hire, and just getting the cogs moving and learning how to recruit new people for the first time. So I can sympathize for you there. And also, yeah, it completely sounds like this is new territory. There's no playbook of how to grow a YouTube team or a YouTube business. Is that something you find that you're kind of shooting in the dark here?
It is, yeah, to a certain extent. I think with the hiring thing for me was an easier decision because I've grown a team before, so I was kind of used to the hiring. The different route I've taken this time around is I hired before by employing, so I'd employ people full time and pay them a salary. That over time, certainly with the size team we had, just starts introducing headaches. It gets very expensive because you're having to deal with like pensions and taxes and like all the payroll stuff that comes with it. Whereas this time around, we've just focused on like outsourcing and contracting people instead. Apart from this one guy, the friend of mine that I've hired, because I don't expect him to know how to like submit his own taxes or anything like that. It's normally in the UK, it's done automatically, whereas I think in the States, everyone's expected to submit their own taxes or what have you. So like hiring people wasn't that alien to me. And for at least the first hire with like that videographer, or sorry, the editor, finding the editor, that was again a really easy decision for me because at the time we had a company reached out to me and said, "We love the videos you make. Can you make some videos for us on our YouTube channel?" And we're like, "Well, yeah, of course, like happy to." And the fee that I quoted them was, it didn't quite cover the full-time salary of the editor, but it paid for a lot of his salary. So I was like, okay, and that company, we made like 1 or 2 videos for them a month, and that basically paid for my editor. So I was like, awesome. Okay, I can hire the editor. Now I get my like 3 days back from editing that I would be doing before. What can I do with those 3 days? And again, it's just trying to find like the most valuable thing. I'm constantly developing new products or services, or like trying to figure out new videos. Like we just went through this decision at the moment of the guy that was working for me was dropping down. He dropped a day a week because he was going to start doing some side hustle things for him. And then I was just kind of figuring out the maths of like, well, hang on, I'm now paying this, a blog writer. I'm paying somebody else to do something. I could just bring it back in house, have him do that, and I get an extra like 4 or 5 days a month out of him for like the same cost. So it's constantly.
Are you talking about transitioning from a contractor to a full-time employee?
No, even just like juggling the costs around really. So I had my full-time employee, but I was gonna, he was gonna start doing 4 days a week rather than 5, just to kind of give himself some more free time. So I was going to get some cost savings from doing that, and then I was going to put those costs straight into hiring the experts. Going back to like, do I hire a proper blog writer? And I basically did that. And it was like, okay, cool, we're getting some great blog posts, but that's like a lot of money just to pay for blog posts when I could move the money basically back to what it was before, but now get the guy to do the blog posts and help me with some scripting. And so by him helping me with scripting, we can now make one extra video, potentially a month, maybe even a week. Yeah. And if that one extra video is sponsored, then that more than pays for itself and more than covers his own costs. So it's just balancing and weighing up like, the money coming in and like the productivity we get out of it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, God, there's so much to think about that I'm sure a lot of new people to this profession wouldn't even consider. So that was really useful to hear. If you sacrifice one thing or reduce costs here, how's it going to affect this? And if you maybe just turn this dial a little bit, actually will it have a huge effect in the output? Really interesting stuff.
Exactly.
Let's jump into
trial and error. There's no like, I'm going to do that and it's going to earn a load of money. Like sometimes I've done that and I've lost a ton of money. So it's like one of these things like, businesses and entrepreneurship and those kind of things. You make a lot of decisions. Some of them work, some of them don't. And you just learn from the ones that don't and you try and not make the mistakes again. But you got to go through that learning process.
I bet a lot of YouTubers your size who are making these steps for the first time, building a team, could learn a lot from you, your experiences here. Sounds like you've done a lot in this area.
Thank you. Yeah, potentially. A lot of mistakes as well, but yeah.
Let's jump into there just to finish off revenue, money, which I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in. And I've only got a few minutes left. So in an ideal world, I'd ask you what your revenue streams are and how much you're making. I don't know if you're comfortable answering that question or if you want to answer it in a specific type of way, but what can we tell us? What can you tell us? What can we learn?
Absolutely happy to. So I actually share a lot of this normally on Twitter because I'm quite happy to like share openly with like money earned and like affiliates and sponsorships and all those kind of things.
Awesome.
Just finding my spreadsheet at the moment, just trying to figure out what's going on. So for example, this is like, and obviously months can vary depending on what's going on and number of sponsorships. And like, you know, this is also my coaching clients and things as well. So roughly speaking, a typical month could be anywhere from like 20 grand to 30 grand's worth of income, like total revenues throughout the whole month. And the split of that is roughly about 70, again, depends on like 60 to 70% of that is just YouTube income. And then the 40 whatever percent is that like the coaching side of things and like my courses and other things that we've got going on.
Gotcha.
Now on the YouTube side of things, there's a bit of a split down on there. So there's AdSense is like the first one that most people go to. And AdSense for me is anywhere from like a couple of grand, £1,500 a month or something. And it doesn't really seem to change. And this has been quite frustrating because like if I look back to April 2022, I was earning £1,441 in AdSense. And in February 2023, I'm earning £1,839 in AdSense. And yet
by £400 in a year.
And channel's doubled in size since then. More than doubled in size. So like double the size, like we were getting like probably 5 times the views, maybe even 10 times the views as well. But the revenue doesn't do whatever because the YouTube revenues generally for a lot of people has gone down over the last, kind of year or so because recession worries and all these kind of things. So our views have been going up, but the revenue's been going down. So it's kind of leveled out at same and breaking even.
Sure.
So YouTube AdSense is like it's like the cherry on top that people shouldn't like plan on having. It's just a bit of extra kind of, I don't want to call it beer money because it's a lot of beer, but it's like that kind of thing it's just extra money coming in.
But don't rely on that alone.
Don't rely on it at all. Like the thing for us that first started taking off was affiliates, and affiliate we can earn anything from like 5 to 8 grand a month on affiliates. And this is just, and this is so stupid. Like I literally mention things in videos, and like people click on the links and they go buy them or whatever, and I earn like a little cut on it over the time. Mm-hmm. And even so much in, I've made videos comparing like the cloud storage services or VPNs or whatever. And again, like talking about testing things out, I've added links, like affiliated links to the ones I basically said in the video, don't buy these, they're not very good. But people still click on those links and they still buy the blimmin' products, even though I literally said in the video, don't do it, it's bad. But I just find it so fascinating. But again, if I don't do that, then you're missing out on a chunk of revenue that you could otherwise have as well. So it's worth
leaving money on the table. Yeah,
exactly that. So affiliates was always like one of the big ones. The one that's really rocketed in the last 6 months or so, I guess, has been sponsorships for me, where we've been really focusing on the channel. We've been getting relatively consistent, decent views on our videos until like the last 2 or 3 we've made. So that's attracted bigger sponsorships. But also, when I said that I hired a friend of mine to work with me, one of the key things he was here to work on was sponsorships. So his job is basically to make sure that we've got our video sponsored at good rates as well. And we actually went through a decision probably 2 months ago or 3 months ago where we were making 2 videos a week, and instead we're just going to do 1 video a week. So we've got half the amount of work to do, but those videos were going to be banger videos. So they're going to be like ones that really, really we feel passionately are going to do really, really well. And also they're going to be sponsored and again, at like a decent sponsorship rate. And that could be anywhere from like, from I don't want to say like rates particularly, but like a few grand to like a few more grand. It's like, we're not earning 10 grand plus for a sponsorship or anything like that, but it's like a few grand for a video here and there.
Adam, just quickly on that, are you getting paid a flat fee for a video, or are you getting paid based on views that the video gets?
We always go on flat fee. We've had a few that ask for like view guarantees, and like I just don't believe in view guarantees. I'm happy enough and confident enough to be able to offer them if you wanted to, apart from perhaps recently with those videos that haven't done very well. But just like it's just views don't matter so much. It's one of these things like there are problems when dealing with brands. Like all brands really want they want views on your video and they want people to go and buy their product. And lots of brands think that means that they want to pay you to make a dedicated video. So literally we have an email inbox. We get 10 to 20 emails a day, like requesting us to like make videos, sponsor videos. And they are all saying, can you make a dedicated video for us? We'll pay you X, for this video. And every single time we go back and say, dedicated videos don't perform that well. If you want to get better views, better engagement, like better conversions, then do an integration instead, where we make a video about something people actually want to watch. And then we just include like a 30 or 60-second ad in the middle of that video. And we'll only generally work with like the brands that either use already or actually like genuinely love or would love to own their products. Yeah. So we can like really wholeheartedly like recommend their products that if we are talking about things. And by that approach, we get better results. But trying to get brands to understand that is such a challenge. Even when we send over all of our YouTube analytics stats, we can say, look, this video has generated this revenue for this company. It's done this conversion rate, this number of clicks. They still go, yeah, I know, but we want a dedicated video because, we want a dedicated video. And you're just like, wow. Oh, it's so frustrating. But so to focus on sponsorships has been like one of the biggest like improvements to the channel, certainly recently. Just not that that's his only job, but he knows that I think 2 or 3 times a day he checks the email inbox, responds to the sponsorships, sits there and negotiates. We also, again, going back to education, we took Justin's brand deal wizard course. Both me and Chris have sat through that, so we've learned the techniques to actually kind of negotiate and go back with some a few different various offers. And it just works. The more you learn, again, the kind of more information we can go back with and try and push for higher rates. And the higher rates means we can make better videos. We can go make spend more money on the videos, because this is very much like we're just constantly reinvesting things back into things again. Not quite like Mr. Beast does, but we're trying to buying the best of camera gear, and again, like probably more so outsourcing things like hiring the team, making the thumbnails better, paying for the courses, just trying to reinvest in those kind of things.
That's really good. That's great. It's great to hear. I think that's so important to invest in yourself and improve the quality of the channel over time.
Yeah. I think there's one thing worth mentioning just before we finish off about the whole like free products thing is probably worth touching on as well, because there's
before we do that, can we just summarize what you just said then? So split between YouTube revenue and business coaching revenue. YouTube revenue, you're getting money from AdSense, from affiliate marketing, and from sponsorships. Is there any other income sources there, or are those just 3 YouTube sources?
I think and there's a few like minor things in there. Medium, so my blog posts that go onto Medium, that's small but growing on that one. We only started that recently. And like, YouTube, is it like YouTube memberships? What do they call it? So I've got that thing, like I probably earn like a couple of dollars a month from that. That's gotcha. Really not pushing it much at all. And we try and like Patreon and those kind of things, but again, probably earning like a dollar a month from those kind of things.
Yeah. And it sounds like of those 3, the 2 biggest ones are affiliate marketing and sponsorships. Which would you say is bigger of those 2?
It depends how many sponsorships we close a month, but it probably is going towards sponsorships nowadays.
Wow. Okay. So
unless we get around till Christmas, because at Christmas time, affiliates takes off, because obviously everyone's like spending money on like Christmas shopping, and that really, really goes well.
Everyone's in the buying mood. Yeah. Or Black Friday as well, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. What was it you wanted to finish off on?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it kind of supports the whole like sponsorships kind of thing. Like, our inbox is, again, very, very full of, hey, we've got this product, would love for you to like make a video for us. And they'll either offer like $100 for a video, or they'll just go, no, we can't offer any form of payment, but we can offer you some form of like affiliate arrangement or something. And there's a group of us that always like chat about this, and we've got like a WhatsApp group with a few other YouTubers, and it's quite funny because we like compare like who's getting what offers, and who's being lowballed by a brand or what have you. And just the fact that brands want you to invest all of your time, all of your effort, make a whole video for them, and again, they're asking for like dedicated videos at this stage for nothing, for free, on the basis that you might then earn 10%, 20%, maybe even 50% on a product sale or something off the back of it.
Sure.
It sounds enticing to like, if you're just starting out, that sounds enticing because you're getting free stuff, it's content for the channel, why wouldn't you? And you'll earn a bit of income off the back of it. But again, going back to like the channel strategy, and I've done it, I've done product reviews, dedicated product reviews that I shouldn't have done, and you can see them on the channel, they just haven't performed well. There's some that have like 1,000 views or 2,000 views, and some of them I've even taken off after a month or two because Like I did an electric. I think I've taken it off. I did an electric bike review very recently because my brother-in-law, literally a week before, was looking for an electric bike. We were Googling trying to find the electric bike, and we both found one. I was like, oh, this one looks really good. Like, and he was going to go and buy that. I do not lie. Literally the next day, we had an email in our inbox from that company saying, "Hey, we'd love for you to review an electric bike. This electric bike, like, give it to you for free. Can't pay you for the video. Blah blah blah. Those kind of things." And I was like,
"Yes,
cool, of course." Like, and it's like a $2.5 grand or $2,000 electric bike. So it's like a very like nice electric bike. So like,
sure,
of course I would do it because then I get to give my brother-in-law a bike for free. It's that kind of thing. The video tanked. I took the video down like after a month or two, and just like. You kind of learn your lesson, but you shouldn't do that because what it does is it damages your channel. You should stick to like, I shouldn't have made that video. I should have just stuck to the content that was, I thought again was going to be like the good performing content. And it just kind of rubs me up the wrong way when someone's like, hey, here's a product. Would love you to like, spend a day filming a video and scripting it and shooting it and making a thumbnail or like editing it and like all these kind of things. Would love you to spend some hours and hours of your time making this for free for us so we can sell some of our product. And it's just like, you shouldn't do that. I don't ever accept free products. At least negotiate for like kind of what your going rate is, if it's a good fit for your channel. We say no to so much, and it's difficult sometimes because, again, I'm like, oh, that's shiny. That looks like it could be fun to play with. But I have to kind of keep telling myself, no, stick to the strategy, make the videos that like your viewers are going to enjoy, not just because you want to play with like the shiny toys. I mean, there's still a few like shiny toy videos out there, but yeah, stick with the stuff that your viewers are going to enjoy.
I think there's two things there. There's making sure that if you're doing a brand deal, you're not doing a dedicated video on your channel, but you're putting the brand deal inside a video that is going to do well, that your audience is actually interested in. You're weaving it into that video. And then there's also the concept of not doing a brand deal video for free. Love what I've been thinking a lot about the saying recently. Give your viewers what they want, or capture your viewers' attention what they want, and then inside that video you can then give them what they need, which is kind of like what your approach is with the advert. Like, get their attention with a video that they want, and then you can do the ad once they're inside. Someone else called it hiding the vegetables. Like you
so to speak.
You sell them with the sweets, they watch the video, and then you give them the vegetables, which is the ad inside the video. So I really like that concept. Just quickly with the advertising and not doing it for free, do you think that rule applies for all YouTubers of all sizes, or when you get past a certain size?
Oh, it's one of these things. I think if it fits your channel content, then it could be a good opportunity just to start off with. And I think like certainly when you're first starting out, for me, I was making videos, I still do in some cases, make videos about products that I'm already genuinely using for free, and I'm not asking the brands to pay for it. It's because I genuinely like using their products. And then I can use those stats over time to go to that brand or go back to other brands and go, hey, look, we've we made videos and mentioned your brand, and we've done this many clicks. We've converted this many sales, because you can still sign up for affiliate platforms or what have you. And I think there's still a certain stage where that's still like absolutely fine for like the initial growth. I've had a few comments on, I think it was on Twitter or something, where people are just like, oh, this is like the dark side of YouTube, where people just like, they just want to get paid for everything, and like they're not going to make a free video for like their audience or what have you. It's just like, yeah, but people are working. This is like people's lives and jobs, and like they have to earn an income. They can't just make lots of videos for free because they will earn nothing off the back of it. And fair enough when you're doing things like, and this is something I started off a lot with, like the screen reviews. Every time a new screen would come out, you could watch all of them online, but they're all like, oh, Samsung gave me this screen, and so here are my thoughts. And you're already going, well, they're not your thoughts. If they're giving you the screen, you're not going to say bad things about the screen. Yeah. So there's that to a certain extent. And I think you have to kind of choose the videos wisely. Whenever we've done screen reviews, we've already gone, bought the product ourselves, so we can give like our own completely like, unsanitized thoughts, so to speak. And certainly with any brands we deal with, we'll always, be very, very clear with them. We've got brand guidelines with our website that we share with them as well, of how we work with brands, that we have our own opinions, and we're allowed to share basically what we want. They don't even get to see the videos in some cases. We just get to put out whatever video we want. Nice. So I know there's like there's arguments to both sides, but certainly with the way we're growing is, if we get paid well for our videos, we can make more videos, we can make better videos, we can kind of, go out and just grow the channel. It's one of these things. It's not like a greedy thing, because we're just trying to invest things back into the channel to make better videos. So it's just trying to make sure that we are trying to, I hope it comes across as being smart, not like money grabbing on, certainly on Twitter, of like, because I tweet a lot about the finances behind the channel and like how much we've earned each month. And yeah, it does quite well on like Twitter for like growing followers and those kind of things. Of course, like people are going to post that, but I also post it because like genuinely there are not many people out there that talk about that stuff. And like the number of people I've had people with like 1 million subscribers contact me on Twitter when I've been talking about like, earnings from YouTube and those kind of things. And they've contacted me going, oh, how are you earning so much? Like, I don't do any of that stuff. I do my AdSense and that's it. They don't do any affiliates. They don't do any sponsorships. And they're like barely scraping by at 1 million subscribers. And like, you shouldn't be like that at all. They're like a few small tweaks, a few like well-positioned, affiliate mentions in the videos, those kind of things, potentially sponsorships can make a massive impact on channels.
Definitely.
At there's no downside to the audience. All the audience is getting, it should be kind of like a win-win-win for everyone involved. It should be a win for the audience because it's something that they will generally be interested in. There's a win for the brand because they're getting exposure to your audience, and it's a win for you because you're getting obviously paid to then kind of promote that thing. So it's a win for everyone involved. And I think that's got to be the case. It's not just got to be like, it can't just be a win for the creator because they've charged the brand a lot of money, so they get loads of money, and the audience is going to hate it, but that doesn't matter because they got paid. It can't be anything like that. It needs to be like an equal, win 3 ways essentially. Yeah,
that sounds so right. Maintaining the quality and the integrity of the channel while also everyone else wins. That's the way to go, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. We can only hope for that as we grow, and it's a challenging thing because you have to be very careful about the brands you deal with and sponsorships and those kind of things. But it's one of those things you just deal with. With any business, you kind of got to deal with business growth at the same time as all the other challenges at the same time.
Yeah, it's admirable that you're spinning all these plates and you've got all these different sort of values and fundamentals of what you're doing too at the same time that you're sticking to. It's impressive, and I know a lot of people might be overwhelmed and not be able to do all that at the same time, or lose track of some of those things. So it's great to see you executing on all this and it going well.
Trying, at least. It might not get it right all the time, but trying.
Yeah, but constantly trying and improving and learning, which you've mentioned learning quite a lot in this talk. It seems to be really important. So yeah, it's a great lesson to all of us watching.
I had that mentioned when I had the IT company. One of the guys came up to me and said, like, Pete, you don't always get it right, but at least you try. And that's the thing that that matters to him. And I was like, that, like, if that's what you've taken from this, then that's awesome, because that's all I care about. Like, yep, I'm not going to say I'm right all the time, but I'm just going to constantly try stuff. And yeah, we're going to make mistakes, but we learn from mistakes.
Yeah, we're going to learn from them, and we're not going to make that same mistake again in the future.
Hopefully not.
Great. We'll leave it at that. That was so transparent and open, the bit about revenue at the end, and the fact that you've got 88,000 subscribers and you're making anywhere between, just trying to do the math, 15 to 22,000 just from YouTube alone each month is amazing. And I think a lot of people have a lot to learn from what you just shared there. So incredible stuff, really useful about your kind of mindset with constantly learning, prioritizing titles, thumbnails. It's been super valuable, Pete, and I'm just really thankful for you being here, and I'm sure people watching this are going to be too. So cheers.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Great. All right, let's call it a day. Thanks, Pete.
Awesome.
We're going to end it there. See everyone soon on the next one.